Hello. Oh my gosh, got to get the mic right in front of me. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Things happen. It's been a day. It's been a week. Get my noodle all straightened out. And I'll feel better with my noodle behind me supporting my back. And I have my crisp cider because it's Friday. And do I really need to explain myself? No, I don't. And I think last time I might have had an adult beverage on air. I don't know. I'm an adult. I can drink it. But I'm trying to relax because this week has just been stressful for me. And a lot of it is because I was working on a project that's not mine. I don't know how they do things. I'm trying to do crap. And it's like, it's not making sense. And if I try to explain to you, like the system I'm working in, you'd probably want to rip out your own hair because it's just really clunky and really annoying. And that kind of stuff really, it gets to me. I get, because I'm like a perfectionist and I want to be able to understand things. I want to be able to put things together in a good way. And I was feeling very unsure because never done anything like that before in the system that I manage. So, oh well. Did you attend the conference today? That's my first question for you. Did you attend the Multilevel Marketing, the Consumer Protection Challenge conference? I was hoping that the recorded versions would be up like tonight, but they're not. I did in chat send Dr. Q. Hey, Laura B, how you doing, sweetheart? I did send him I'm like, hey, is this going to be up? But he got off, he was going to go see his wife, which I can understand because it was a full day. And I really couldn't pay that much attention to things the way I'd like to, like give my full attention to, since I was like working at the same time. So I was like, okay, I have it on over here. And I wasn't hearing everything necessarily always in context. Now, when she can, my friend Elaine, and I never can remember the name of her stinking channel, for whatever reason, it's like she's going to have to tell me and just like smack me over the head or something. Anyway, she's going to jump on in a few minutes. Her mother-in-law just came in. And so, this was kind of like at the last minute. I'm like, hey, would you like to come on tonight? Because there's things that we can, both talk about. Okay, just some dainty, and I never can say the last word. Somebody asked me to ask you if you're Hungarian, because apparently that last word is Hungarian or is a dessert or something. I have no idea. I'm just passing it along. So I'll let someone know because I put it in the comments. Hey, Joseph, how are you doing? Oh, you like my hair? My husband liked my hair today, too. And I have a little thing that makes it all poofy like this because this ain't just my hair. I have something for extra to making it kind of, roll up like that. So I try to pay attention as much as I could. I really want to listen to the keynote speech again because I think there was a lot of good nuggets in there. Do I remember what they were? No, because you know what I did? I had like a notebook with, I had things written down. I was ready to take notes. I was not able to take a single note because I was so busy. Half Hungarian. Okay. Thank you. It rhymes with lively. So bigly, I don't know I can't say it. So I just have to call you just I'm so sorry. But you'll forgive me, I hope. I'm glad to know I can let Peanut know because I think the user's name is Peanut something. I don't remember, but I know when she makes a comment or he makes a comment, what I don't know if it's which gender. And so anyway, I'll let them know because that's really great. That's a great tip. You know what? I love learning about people's ethnicity. I've always been so fascinated with cultures. I'm always like, okay, what are the belief systems here? What's going on here? I love cultures. Anyway, so I did think that the keynote speaker, there were some interesting things. What those things were, I can't tell you because I wasn't able to take notes and I was working at the same time. I'm sorry. But it was really great to see that there were so many people. And it wasn't like that we had everybody in every session, I'm sure. Now, I know this morning, before everything started, Bill Keep had told me that we had 940 registered for it, which is a really good turnout. And so that's really, really, really exciting. And it was great that people were in every single session and it seemed to be very involved. Now, what I thought was really funny, because, people are people. That makes sense, right? And the chat had been disabled, but there was the Q&A. And so people were using the Q&A as if it was a chat. And I'm like, I'm just so not surprised on that, And then the moderators were gathering questions. And, I don't think that we were able to hit all the questions. And I think some people were answering the questions. And when somebody would answer a question, then that question would go away. So we don't have it for further reference to be able to talk about, especially, when we debrief after all of this type stuff. And Tamale just came over here. But hopefully we'll be able to get to some of those and then put something together or to, answer any questions that were not answered during the actual presentations. You know what I mean? So that was really cool. And I'm going to want to watch, listen, whatever, the regulatory panel that was the international one, because I do want to hear when I can pay attention. Everything I'm just going to say, I'm going to preface everything like when I can really focus and pay attention, because I really couldn't. But I think the one that stood out to me was the one from Ireland, and I can't remember. Oh, yes, it's Paul Hanna. That's what I thought. And what I really liked is that it really seemed like he was kind of like, I don't know that much about multi-level marketing. There's a lot of stuff I just don't know. I just don't understand. And I think overall, when it comes to the regulators, because, they're going by the book, they're going by the law, all of that kind of stuff. But if they've never been actually in it, or if they've never watched like a lot of opportunity calls or, just different things that people who are in these do, whether they're high up, lower rank, or whatever, and really got a feel for what are these people going through. Because I just kept getting the feeling like a lot of it was like, well, here are some things that you need to consider. But the thing is when people join an MLM, they're not going, let me get my list out of things I need to think about whether or not this is a good opportunity. No one's doing that. I mean, if they are, it's very few people, because most people get roped into these things because there's someone that they knew, someone that they trusted, and their guard is down. Hey there, is it Ang Black? I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's cute. The little star, the little emojis. People are, in general, I think, because I'm using my experience, for example, because I knew the person that I signed up with for Beachbody. Did I know this person super, super, super well or anything? No, but I knew her enough where I was like, oh, seems like a cool gal. And hey, if she's making bank, making six figures, and I was like, I'll be able to figure this out. She's right here in the same, complex, literally on the same floor. Surely, this can work. And something that they don't realize also is that people, when they sign up for these things, they have no idea what multi-level marketing is, direct sales, network marketing. In general, most people have no clue about what it is. And so it's like, when your guard is down and you're trusting someone, you're not going to bust out the paper and be like, okay, let me go figure this all out. Let me pros and cons, because you're just not thinking right. And not only that, is if you attend any of these things where they present the opportunity, you're often told, don't go on to Google because, there's some things that they don't have it right. And they don't realize also, and this is my point of view, that what I believe is that you are being almost like pre-indoctrinated into it. So by the time that you do say yes to the opportunity, you're already not thinking straight. You're not thinking straight at all. And so when you're not thinking straight, what are you going to do? You're not going to make a good decision where you're looking at the pros and cons, period. And there is Invested Lifestyle. Thank you for putting out there. My gosh, Elaine, I can never remember the name of your channel. I feel so bad. I'm always like, what is it? I just can't remember it. All right, here is my friend Elaine.
Okay, hello, everyone. Hi.
Hello. Yeah. Elaine was there too today. I don't know how much you were able to pay attention to it. Because I mean, I was like, had half an ear because I was working at the same time.
Yeah, I'm working too. I'm working with spreadsheets, but I think I was there when I think the PhD guy was I think Andrew was doing his talk. Yeah, about the research and the whole social media creators, like, or the journalists. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I need to listen to all of that again.
Yeah.
I was just talking about the regulators who I don't think they understand like how people's like you let your guard down, and that's why you end up joining these things. And so you're not going to sit around and go like, well, let me do pros and cons, let me go look things up, blah blah. You're not going to do things like a rational person because you're not rational at that point.
Yeah, and the thing is, you are invited by someone you trust. So like no matter what the even if you Google it, no matter what the research says, you're gonna be like, oh, but I trust this person, you know.
You not only that, you're going to see yourself, even if you were. I mean, I always say this: if I had an income disclosure statement in front of me when I joined, I would have seen myself beating the odds.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's what everyone sees. That's what everyone sees. Yeah.
I was just saying, you're just not rational. I mean, you're just not. You're not thinking fully. I mean, I'm someone who I researched the bejesus out of everything, except when it came to joining Beachbody. I was like, oh yeah, sign me on up.
Yeah, and I think it's also like your situation, because when I joined an MLM, I just had like a breakup for my boyfriend for 3 years. So I wanted like a community. I wanted to prove something about myself. So yeah, we are not rational at that point. Like and they tell you what you want to hear, basically. Yeah, they tell you they tell you, oh, and you resonate because I think that's what you're already thinking, that oh, you're not living up to your potential. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
and everybody is so positive and it feels good.
Yeah, and everyone is like happy, and like you get like instant like friendship from everybody. Yeah.
So you think.
Yeah, so yeah, so you think until you quit, you know.
Yeah,
The
until you
haters
realize it was fake. It was all
yeah.
fake, which is a
Yeah.
shame. And Elaine, I don't know about you, but when I like do research into things, and even when looking, okay, we're going to bring up the Cookie Monster,
Yeah.
even when I look at her, she's a beautiful gal, and she seems very personable and everything. And it's like, I think she could do so many things like really, really well, but what she's doing is heinous. And most of the people here, I'm going to say, probably have no idea. So I'm going to give just kind of like a little recap on this. First of all, Kayani, I did back when I first started YouTube, I did 2 videos about Kayani because a friend was going to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor had joined Kayani and got my friend to join Kayani. And this friend of mine actually had been in my downline, but then quit. And so anyway, that was why I looked at Kayani, and it was in 2019. So it's like a lot of stuff that I don't remember, but I did remember seeing a lot of people, especially I guess guys in the cars, and they were Asian. And I'm like, man, this is looking really janky. And then Robert Fitzpatrick told me about you. And so I reached out to you, and you're from the Philippines, right?
Well, I'm from the Philippines, but I live in the US. Yeah.
Right. You live in the US now, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the Philippines. And I will say this is that what I have noticed with how I have done content, if I do an MLM that's not well known, like I've done one from done Lycanet, which is from like Austria. I've done a lot from that are overseas, so to speak. No one cares. Nobody wants to watch it because it's not different. It's not unique. It's not Beachbody. And it's like, I think it's so important for us to expose people to all of these other ones because it's not just a US problem, it's a worldwide problem. And what's
Yeah.
happening in the outside of the US is by far so much worse, so much more sinister, so
Mm-hmm.
dark, so disgusting, and so highly problematic. But I feel like people are like, la 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 la. No, 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 no. Don't want to look there. Oh, look, unique. Yay. Yes, let's hate
Yeah.
on
And I think what's also happening is once they say that they're a US company, they recruit more people because they're gonna say, oh, we're a US company. So there's like a halo effect, like, oh, if it's a US company, it must be good, you know.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. Compared to MLMs that starts in the Philippines, like USANA does this, like, oh, we're a US company. Young Living does this. Yeah, so like most of the MLMs that are like very famous now in the Philippines are already dying in the US. So don't be surprised when Monet and Beachbody and Unique like move to the Philippines. And that's
well,
what I don't want to happen. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's the whole thing. Is that at some point here in the States, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, nobody's really joined. They've got to look at other
Mm-hmm.
territories, and so I know, like with
Mm-hmm.
Beachbody, went to Canada first. After Canada, then they went to England. After England, then they France. It's like you got to start branching out to
Mm-hmm.
find more victims.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I started. I wanted to do like an this kind of content for I think since 2018, but I was scared because no one really is doing it, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a lot of backlash, and I was not ready at that time. But then when I saw more people speaking out, and because of the pandemic, I saw that they're targeting these people who lost their jobs and who are like scared of COVID. Now I was like, I can't delay this anymore, you know. So that's why I was like, whatever happens, I'm just gonna do this. So yeah, you reach a tipping point, and I feel like someone has to speak out, and that speaks their language also, so that they know that this is not okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is not okay. Like, this is not just a US problem. This is uh a worldwide problem. We can't be like we can't be the ones that has to suffer because they're not making money anymore in the US or in Europe, and because like the Philippines doesn't have really a lot of regulations. Like, it's so funny, Alonda, because some commenters tell me, oh, because we have like a direct selling association of the Philippines branch, and they have
yeah,
like this, yeah, 8-point rule, and they say, oh, it's it's okay if it passes the 8-point rule, right? But I was saying, but DSA, um like MLMs are members of the DSA, so it's just they're self-regulating, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think, it's shining a light on that more for people to realize that,
yeah.
okay, this regulatory council don't
Mm-hmm.
mean shit because they're
Mm-hmm.
regulating
Exactly.
themselves.
Yeah, they're regulating themselves. So of course, they're gonna have all these points, and everyone's gonna pass it. But some MLMs doesn't even pass it. That's why I was like, well, if it doesn't even pass this week like point test, what does it tell you? You know, and I think,
So
yeah,
what is the point test that they use?
like, is there a product? Let me Google it.
Because I want to make sure
Yeah,
that we're all on the same page here.
yeah.
Now, are
DSAP
you saying this is
8 point.
an 8-point test that's used in the Philippines?
Yes. It's used in the Philippines. They're saying, oh, if they have commercials, like they have ads that, oh, how to know if an MLM is legit. Okay, so and it's made by
Okay,
the DSA. Yeah,
that is a point for me that because I kept hearing that from regulators. They were going,
yeah,
well, legitimate multi-level, and I'm like, who's legitimate? They're
yeah,
all based
yeah.
on the same thing, which is the only way you make money is if you recruit.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, Ella?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So one is there a product?
Okay, is it a
Number
product?
two, are commissions paid on sale of products and not on registration entry fees, which is like really nothing because
Yeah,
they put it together. Is the intent to sell a product, not a position? Like, of course, because they mislead you. Okay, you buy a product. Is there no direct correlation between the number of recruits and compensation? I don't even know how to answer that. Like, what do you mean? Is there no direct correlation between the number of recruits and compensation? Like, what?
that to me sounds like they're trying to say that your compensation isn't based on whether or not you recruit people underneath you.
Yeah, but they're just gonna say, well, when you get, because the thing is they mash together like buying a
Mhm.
product and getting recruited, so of course they're gonna pass that, right? Number five is, if recruitment were to be stopped today, will the participants still make money? And they're just gonna say, well, you can still sell the products. Number six, is there a reasonable product return policy? Which in the Philippines, there's really no such thing. But I don't know why. They say there is, like, but when you really do it, they don't really execute it.
Well, and
Uh,
the word
mhm.
reasonable, how are you defining
Yeah,
reasonable? What is meant by reasonable according to
yeah,
whom? How is
yeah,
that measured?
exactly. Exactly. Okay, number seven, do products have a fair market value? Again, they define what fair market value is, right? And then number eight, is there a compelling reason to buy? So, you know, this is so weak. I don't know.
Mhm.
For me, it's weak.
It's very weak. One of the things I always say is that when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
MLM products, no one has ever gone to like a bar, a party, somewhere where you're socializing, and someone's like, have you heard of this protein shake by It Works? It is the bomb.com. Ain't nobody talking like that about products. But,
Yeah.
there are times when things do come out on the
Yeah.
mass market that all of a sudden you do hear about because it's really, really good. Like, just I'll just pick a streaming service like Netflix. That was great.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. But we're not talking about like an unusual product, something that is a real breakthrough, because everybody is just taking the same ideas, repackaging them, slapping a different label on it, and voila, there you go.
Yeah, I know. And like, me and Bob were talking about it. Like, if all the MLM products disappear in the market, there's really no effect. Like,
No,
yeah, there's really no effect. There's always like a cheaper product that you don't have to sell to people. It's a headache.
there's never a reason to buy an MLM
Yeah.
product. There are
Mm-hmm.
dupes for everything as long as you look. And I get, I mean, when I was in Beachbody, I enjoyed my Shakeology. But am I
Yeah.
missing it right now? No. Am I glad
Yeah.
I'm not spending, $100 every month for Shakeology? Yes. Am I glad I'm not taking a picture of myself and my janky shake and expecting people to go, oh, what are you drinking? Yeah, because all of that is
Yeah.
just cringe fest.
I know. I was so my MLM before, it's already closed right now, but back in when I was 19, I think, it's one of the first MLMs in the Philippines. We sell like shoes. Yeah, it's pretty
Shoes?
cringe. Yeah, it's pretty cringe.
Shoes?
Shoes, yeah, shoes.
Holy
And then
I'm laughing with love.
yeah, I was 19. Hey, I was 19. And I remember at that time, I was selling clothes, like not an MLM kind of way because my mom was in Hong Kong and the clothes there are cheaper than in the Philippines. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I can sell this like a match, like kind of like Lularoe, you know. And then I hired employees too. I can't sell these shoes because they're so expensive.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah. Like I really tried to sell the product. I don't want to recruit because I really thought that it's gonna work. It didn't. Yeah,
Okay, you just said something so
yeah,
brilliantly. And that's the whole thing is like
yeah,
what I hate about people who are not I don't hate the people, but I hate
yeah,
this about what in the MLMers, and usually it's the top ones, all those MLM
yeah,
coaches say, it's like basically, well, you just didn't work hard enough. The
yeah.
F I didn't, the F you did. I mean, get out of here. It's
Mm-hmm.
like people work themselves to the bone thinking, I'm going to crack the nut. This is going to work. I'm going to keep believing. I'm going to trust. I know it takes a while to get off the ground. I'll keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going until
Mm-hmm.
you just like crash and you can't sustain.
Yeah, and I was there every single day. Because even if you didn't have any recruit, you have to be there, I guess, so that they show that there's a lot of members.
Where
And
did you have to be?
you have to be in this seminar. They have like a building, and then like where people bring their recruits, and then they will like the orientation, and
Oh my God.
yeah, and you
So
have
like
to be there.
a daily thing that you're going there.
Yes, and then
Holy crap.
it's usually like 9 in the evening, and I was in college, so every after school, I have to go there. I have to spend on the taxi, we have
Wow.
to be there until maybe 1 o'clock in the
Oh
evening.
my
Yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah. It was
Now
so
that's
hard.
intentional. That is so
Yeah,
intentional.
yeah,
Wear
and
them out, wear them down.
yeah, and I think now I'm thinking about it, it's because like if you don't sleep enough, if you lack sleep, you're more suggestible.
Yeah,
Now I
exactly.
understand it now. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also I'm thinking like it's the sunk cost effect because you're thinking, "Oh, I already spent so much time and money in this thing that it's going to be hard for me to quit." But like with me, I'm happy that my with my personality, I recognize when it's time to quit. So I only stay there for like 3 to 4 months, but it feels like forever because I was there every single day. Right? Yeah,
Wow.
and when I'm not there, my upline keeps on calling me every day. Like we spend like hours on the phone too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, totally culty. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure the bike model tick, 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 it's just like everything.
And I think it was like 2004. I think, back then. So there's no YouTube. I
Right,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
any, yeah, I didn't know anything. I thought this, I didn't know anything about MLM. So yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
same
that's
as
something that I
Sandy.
found. Most people, even when they join, they don't know what MLM is. They have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people walking around, they have no idea. And for myself, I mean, I can remember like as a little girl, I did a video on Avon a long time ago. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, the Avon products were really super cool. And I can remember products that I had. And that's what I put in this, video is I went and I found the vintage stuff and they were super cool. And I remember my
Yeah.
mom getting it or, the Tupperware, just like different things. Like it had a different feel at that time. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think there were so damn many of them because these are like cockroaches. They're like everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like they will
Yeah.
survive somehow.
Yeah, I know. Like there's so many like for water now. They're like I know, right?
For anything,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So like I'm thinking, right? Why product doesn't have an MLM? I don't think there's any.
I found two for sanitary napkins. I found funeral
Yeah.
insurance. I mean, it's like literally you think it doesn't exist. If you look,
Yeah.
you'll find it. I mean, it's there. Somebody to take advantage of you in that way. And I guess some of the ones that really, really annoy me are all the makeup ones. It's like you can just go down to Walgreens and you can get decent makeup. You don't need to get any makeup from no damn MLM.
I
It's like
know. Yeah.
overpriced. And okay, I do want to talk a little bit because of you, I made that video about, Michael Medina, Sapphire.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, and I just watch, okay, I can't understand the language, but I definitely,
Mm-hmm.
looked at his mannerisms. I'm like, okay, cult leader. And I'm like, where the hell are these
Mm-hmm.
products from? What are the ingredients? How are they sourced? How
Mm-hmm.
do I know anything about this? And here you are taking advantage, 16-year-olds,
Yes.
16.
As young as 15. He even said as young as 15 you can already join. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and not just that. I felt like a Nexium connection because
Mhm.
I didn't know this at that time when I made the video too. That he made them work as well, like as employees. Yeah, in his office.
Oh my
These
gosh.
kids, yeah, kind of like Keith Raniere, right? And then
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they don't pay, he doesn't pay them. He just like the profit sharing thing, like and then they tell he tells them that if you make extra effort then you get more bonuses, but there's no like
How's that
how do you
defined?
gauge that? Yeah, how do you gauge that? So if you don't question him, I guess.
Oh, I think the thing when I was, doing my research and stuff, when I found the video, which I included in my video, of all of these kids doing the pledging to this, and I was just like, "Ugh,
I know.
your allegiance to this person and this
Yeah.
opportunity.
You know what's funny is he also promised that they're gonna give him like matching jackets and like shirts. And he didn't even do that. But he wants like, in the bite model, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He wants them to dress the same, and he wants like their profile picture to have that sapphire logo. Yeah,
And I
it's
bet he's
very
going to say you're
culty.
branding yourself as for your
Mm-hmm.
personal brand. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah, and also I forgot to tell you, Alanda, like whenever they say something, like comment on something, he wants them to put their certified member number. So they're like reducing them to a number. And Cookie is doing this too. Like yeah, like their identity is their certified member number.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's
Now
definitely. Mhm.
the Cookie Monster. I
Yeah.
dubbed her the Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
She's a force because she
Yeah.
has like not one but two funnel systems to get people to join Kayani.
Mhm.
And if you
Mhm.
guys don't know what Kayani is, I mean, you can look at my earlier videos, but basically it's like this triangle of health, which is in of itself another damn triangle. That's like, oh my God. So you're admitting what you are.
Yeah. Yeah, what was surprising was when I didn't know. I didn't know before I did the video. I released the video of like the worst scammers in the Philippines, right? And then my aunt messaged me and she told me, "Hey, I'm a victim of Kiani." And I was like, I didn't even know.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
because
my own
Kayani
aunt.
it's from the US, right?
Yeah, it's from the
Yeah.
US.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
doctor, I remember doing research and the doctor who like created this stuff. I mean, you can't find diddly on this person because I mean, I
Mhm.
scoured all over the place. But what it
Mhm.
like builds itself on the Alaskan blueberry, that's not even from Alaska, it's from Canada. It's just what it's called. But you don't
Yeah.
know that. So it's like, oh, and they make it sound like, it's going to, like the Inuit, like it's a tribal type thing. And it's
Yeah.
like just so gross and vile. And then the whole car thing, because I included like something that was shot maybe in the Philippines. I'm not sure, but Cookie was in it with this,
Yeah.
and they all had white cars. They were,
Oh
the
my
BMW,
god.
the Mercedes, and this, and it's like, oh, and then they were all dressed alike in that.
Yeah, and I don't get why because they keep on like saying, oh, they have their this Mercedes, they have all these cars or whatever. But it's not, they didn't even pay cash on it.
Right
It's
now, it's a
like
lease.
yeah.
And
I
again,
know.
I did it on the Shanann Watts case. Are you familiar with Shanann Watts?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
In Lavelle. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, and for if
So
anybody that
I
doesn't
was
know,
sure.
she was part of Lavelle Thrive, and she was killed in 2018, and her two daughters were, and her unborn son
Mm-hmm,
were in 2018 by Chris, her father,
mm-hmm,
her husband, their father, and he's in jail now. But her story is like the perfect storm and the perfect story to be able to,
mm-hmm.
like teachable moments from it. But I did go back and I just focused just on the car thing because they will tell you, oh, I got my car paid for. Nobody just walks up and
Yeah,
says, here's the keys, here's your car, enjoy your Mercedes. You got to earn that over and over and over. And if you don't earn it, well, you know what? You can buy
you
enough
have to.
product to make sure it just is so infuriating.
So what did Lavelle say? Because I know when this blew up, they found out that they're bankrupt, like their family is bankrupt, right? So how did they defend themselves from that?
They didn't. They just separated themselves from it. And I mean, it's like she has scrubbed from all of their stuff. Now her
Oh,
Facebook
wow.
is still up. And that's where I've been able to go and like pull things.
Mm-hmm,
And that's why I was able to piece together that she
mm-hmm.
started with artistry, which is the Amway beauty line. And she started with Amway in her 20s. And that's because Cookie was very young when she started. She still looks young.
Yeah.
And Michael Medina looks like he's 12 to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, you have a daughter? How the hell that happened?
Yeah. It's so funny when you said that. Like, yeah, Filipinos look young. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, man, great skin.
Yeah. So yeah, she started young, and the problem is when you start young in MLM, you're like in a bubble, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I've seen
I
that
re-
over and over and over again.
I remember when she told me that no one really talked. No one really talked. Sorry, there's like feedback for some reason. Let's see. Okay, so no one really talked to her the way I talked to her. Maybe no one really told her the truth. I don't know. But I don't know how people talk to her. Like no one corrected her or told her what she's really doing. Yeah, I guess.
Well, let's let
Yeah.
my audience know what happened because the Cookie Monster went after you. That goes right into what I'm going to be presenting on
Mhm,
tomorrow, which is I'm going to talk about when
mhm,
MLMs try to silence you. You know what you go through. But you've been through this recently, and
mhm.
is the video back up or is it not up?
No, I'm still dealing with it actually.
Okay, well, okay. So you made it. Did you make just one video about her and then she attacked it, or did you make multiple?
I made multiple videos, but I only made like one video about her. I usually made videos like exposing Michael Medina, but that's the one she also took down.
She took down the
Yeah.
one about Michael too.
Yeah, because she's there. But
Ah,
yeah, because in my video I was just saying, right? Because this is so like surprising to me because when they created the Sapphire Awareness Group, like the survivors created this awareness group, they were also getting recruited to Hope and Inspire movement, which the Cookie Monster is the CEO. And then I found out that Michael Medina is part of the Hope and Inspire movement. So it's just, it blew my mind. If you got victimized by this guy, why would you join an organization that he's a part of? It's just crazy to me. And then I looked at their compensation plan and it's like a photocopy. So that's why I had to add her, because it's the same exact thing. So yeah, so she copyright strike me for 3 seconds of a 34-minute video.
Wow. And the video that I did, she's up there for longer than 3 seconds.
Yeah, but I think I don't know what's going on in her mind, but she did reach out to me, and I can't talk about what she said, but it's just that she thinks it's really personal. But I have to say this is not personal. I'm just reporting what's happening. I don't have any hate towards her. I know you
Right.
don't too. But
No.
yeah, the actions or what she's doing is not right. So
Right.
yeah, if she stops this thing, I mean, of course, like, okay, but I don't think she understands that. She thinks it's coming from something personal, which I
Well, that's
don't know
because
her
we're characterized as
personally.
haters. If we go against something,
Yeah,
we're just haters. And it's like,
yeah,
no, I don't hate you as a person. I don't
yeah.
like what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then the impact it's having on those that you're doing it to. All of that is bad actions.
Yeah, because it doesn't really affect us, but it affects the people that we care about. Like, I care about these kids. I don't know them personally, but I don't think this should be happening to them, because they're teenagers. They should be like studying. They should this is supposed to be a fun time for them, and not like trying to refund their money. I just don't think it's right.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's awful. I mean, here in
Mm-hmm.
the States, vector marketing, aka Cutco, that they go after high school kids, people who have just graduated or who are in college, and which is not quite
Mm-hmm.
the same thing, but still you're dealing with people who are very young. And when you're,
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, I think about when I was 16, 15. Oh, good gravy if I'd have joined any of that. I mean, I'm so glad I didn't. But I mean, you're not you're mentally, you're not fully formed. And so how can you really make a good decision when you have not reached maturity as a
Yeah,
human being?
exactly. And at that time, I also developed depression after this MLM experience, because I thought that it was my fault, and I didn't
Mhm.
want to see anybody because of the shame. Like,
Yeah.
I invited these people too. So, you know what I mean, like, yeah, so I stayed in my house for a few years until, like, I realized, hey, this is not my fault. And then I just started to study it. I started to learn more about it, and now I'm just sharing what I learned from MLM through you too. I was watching you, the other content creators. I'm reading studies. I'm also watching pro MLM videos. I just don't like what you always say. You do your own research,
Yeah.
and I decide, because the problem with most people in MLM, they get told that don't watch anti MLM videos. Yeah, so they only see one side of it. So I'm glad when sometimes they tell me that because of my video, they open their mind and they think that we have a point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same thing with me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
people will contact me and tell me, and the ones that, and I'm going to tell the full story of Darren and Mike tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
of all the
Yeah.
different things I've gone through with that whole mess since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And and them, I mean, do I hate them as people? I think they're crappy people. I mean, they're not
Mm-hmm.
good people because they're being doing this for many years and they're really taking advantage of people. I
Yeah.
don't like their actions, and I think they could probably again do well doing something else in a good way, in an ethical way, because I don't see this as an ethical type of a business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that's a sticking point for me, is like, how is this even, how does anybody see this as ethical? Because it's not. But you cannot see it in that way as being unethical when you're knee deep in it. You just because
Mm-hmm.
it's all you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And like your circle of friends, you see that they're doing well. Like you don't even
Okay.
care about the people in the bottom because you don't really see it. Like I remember, I think it was like in philosophy, like if you see a girl like in front of you drowning, right? Will you save her? Like if your shoes are gonna get destroyed, if you jump in that puddle, most people will say, yeah, of course I'm gonna save her, right? Because I see her, and yeah, of course. But how about the kids in Africa that we know it's dying, we don't just see them. How come we don't do anything about it? Like I think it applies to this, that because they don't really see it, or they refuse to think about it. They just focus on the people that is making it, the
Yeah.
1.1%, that I think they are like brainwashing themselves that they're doing a
Oh,
good job.
yeah, I think they
Yeah.
reinforce the narrative, over and over and over again because you have to, you have to somehow justify that you're okay doing this crappy thing that you're doing because otherwise, how do you live with yourself? You have to justify
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, how
Mental
can you sleep at
gymnastics.
night? Yeah, how can you sleep at night, really?
And
Yeah.
I mean, I think back. I think, and hopefully I won't cry. The thing that I regret the most,
Mhm.
and it's so embarrassing. I probably will cry. It's so hard for me to admit
It's okay, Alanda. Yeah.
is that I got my mother-in-law, and they're on a fixed
Mm.
income, and and they're well. I mean, she was my father-in-law was married. I mean, alive at the time. I can't even think right now. I get so upset thinking about it. But I got
Mhm.
her into Beachbody, and they didn't
Mhm.
have the money for things.
Yeah.
They were on, like the government was helping them out and stuff. It's not like they were like at this place where like, oh, we're just having a life of our, just everything's great.
Mhm.
Very fixed income. And, because of MLM, I was willing to do that to someone who I love and cherish so much. And that's so
Yeah.
hard to come to terms with.
But at that time, you thought this was a good thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not your fault. Because most of the people I talked to were telling me that the moment they realized that this is not a good thing is when they got out. They realized that they're scamming people, so they're like, no matter what, I can't do this. But there are also people that once they realize it, they really just don't care. Some people know it is a pyramid scheme, but they still continue on because they're making money.
Yeah.
That's the
Well, I
thing.
kind of look at that like the other side of this is those
Yeah.
all the fake gurus, associated with the
Yes.
personal development. And
Mm-hmm.
damn well that anybody that they're teaching, most people are not making it. And yet they're there
Mm-hmm.
pitching the same crap day after day,
Exactly.
week after week.
The one more reason that's why I started my channel, because I saw a lot of fake financial gurus in the Philippines like shilling these MLMs because they can make money because they're motivational speakers. And I really think it's predatory because these people hang on to every single thing that they say, because
Yeah.
they say like some of the things they say is really true, that you have to have an emergency fund, you have to save your money. But then they shill this MLM, and like, who in their right mind, like, they're supposed to know the math, and the math doesn't add up, right?
No,
Yeah, with
no.
MLM. So they know what they're doing, and they're still doing it. That's why I have to step up and then give these people the truth, the real deal. And yeah, people hate me for it. some people hate me for it, but I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people who really needs financial education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
So
I get a lot of hate on, there's different videos that some draw more hate than others, that's just how it is.
yeah.
And I mean, when you get those comments, it does, it's a little like, ow, ouch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know it's like, well, you're all enmeshed into all of this. You can't even see it. And I hope one day that you can, especially that you are so willing to go out on someone's channel and write such vile things. You're
Mhm.
okay with doing that. I mean, would that be okay if you worked for, I don't know, some law firm and you were a law clerk? Would you go out there and say crappy things on, you wouldn't, but they're like,
Yeah.
okay doing it. And it's like, it's just the behavior is like, I always think about that. It's like, you don't really know what you're doing. You're not your true self. You're your MLM personality. That's, no one would
Yeah.
act like that.
Exactly. I work in the government and people always say bad things about the government. I don't go in like the comment section and tell these people, "Oh, I hope you die." I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, yeah, the government sometimes they're really crappy." So, yeah, it's true. You know, but these people message me. They tell me, "I hope you die. I hope you catch COVID."
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
had that too.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
And I was like, okay.
but
Yeah.
I'm not there for, I mean, I will be here for you when you're ready. But right now I'm here for the people that need to hear the message, that they're like, oh, and like make that mental shift. I'm here for them. I mean, I'm also here for the people like, don't do it. Just say
Mm-hmm.
no. Just don't do it. Do anything else. Go work at McDonald's. Don't do it.
Exactly, exactly. Because when I came to the US, I was recruited by WFG.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, they target immigrants. And my husband was in the military, so I'm like an immigrant with a military husband. So you already know.
Perfect target.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect
perfect
target.
target, right? But at that time, I already know that MLM is bad news, so they didn't really get me. But the guy who recruited me, yeah, didn't really make a lot of money. And now I was able to buy my house. I was able to save money for retirement. And yeah, at that time I was working 3 jobs to survive. And now happily I was able to study. Yeah, I got my master's and now I have a good career. So that's the thing, like they sell this MLM like an answer to your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but actually no, you have to see what you're good at. You have to develop your own career or maybe start your own business. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just because think about it, a lot of people are doing it, MLM. How come not a lot of people are millionaires by now?
Yeah. 'Cause
It-
they make it sound like you're good if you'll
yeah.
succeed. Now,
Yeah.
WFM is World Financial Group, for people who don't know what
Mhm.
WFM is, which is on my list. And my real estate agent sent me the training material because she was, somebody tried to pitch
Yeah.
her. And I found her because of YouTube. I started watching her because they're looking at
Yeah.
Houston houses, and she's just really, really super sweet and everything. And I was probably like the easiest client because I found what I was looking for, and I'm like, I just need some help and guidance through this. But I am going to, dive into it more, because especially knowing that they are targeting immigrants, and it looks like
Mhm.
Asian immigrants seems to be like a big target, and that just makes me angry. A lot of the people that I work with on my team, like professionally, they're in the Philippines also. And
Mhm.
so all of these things that's targeting that, it bothers me, because I know people now. I have connections of people, that are
Mhm.
there. And I think a lot of people don't realize that when people do immigrate here, then they are targeted by certain
Mhm.
organizations. because this is the
Yeah.
American way and you can make money. You're in America now. You can join
Mhm.
this, blah, blah.
But exactly, imagine I just came here. I have a savings, but not that much. I was looking for a job. They tried to recruit me. I didn't have any income, and they're selling me $300 insurance. I was telling them, even if I want to join you, I don't have money. Like, I don't understand like how they think, like, how am I gonna afford this? And at that time too, the guy who's recruiting me was telling me so after the seminar, right? So he's trying to act like, he's successful. And he's like, you know what they told us? Don't look at the prices on the menu. And I was like, that's the first thing I look at.
Don't
Because
look at it.
yeah, don't look at the prices on the menu, because that's like a poor mindset.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they said, if you have a rich mindset, you just look at what you
you don't
want,
worry about it
no matter how much it is. And
because
I
you
was
know you'll
like,
be able to bring it back.
but isn't that like mind blowing? Don't look at the prices on the menu. I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
not surprised because I mean,
Yeah.
having studied so many of these things and thinking back on my own experience, it's like I'm not shocked by it at all. Am I horrified? Absolutely, because it's disgusting. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I could see myself if I were into that of doing that same spiel because that's what you do. You just parrot that which you were taught.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I was an eligibility worker before, and eligibility worker, for the people who doesn't know, when you apply for welfare, we look at your income, your situation, and then we say, okay, you're approved for food stamps or like general relief, like here in California, right? And a WFG senior marketing director, in their income disclosure statement, they say they make $250,000 a year. And they're, because I think at that time you have to recruit 36 people in order to get that position. So I looked at his what they call this income, and he said, "Oh, I only make $2,000." And I was like, "Oh, really? $2,000?" But in the income disclosure statement, it says 250,000. And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, but I had a bad year." So what they don't tell you is, like, if you recruit 36, right? um you might be able to make 250,000, but then you stay in that position even though you're not making any more money. So
Oh
you
my
can,
god.
yeah, so you can say that, oh, I'm senior marketing director, I'm making all this money, but actually if you don't recruit, if you stop recruiting, mm, all you have is the position. You
So
don't have
it's
that
your
incentive.
lifetime rank. Your lifetime rank, you
Yeah.
earn it and you sit there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said it. Yeah, you said it is lifetime rank. And I was also thinking about these things, right? So I was like, okay, I have some money right now. If I join an MLM and I just, buy myself a position, I can just create books and like, I can just create books and then become a motivational speaker on how I became like a diamond crown jewel, something like that, in like a month. Like, ha, you don't get promoted by merit. You just get promoted because maybe you have a big network or you have a lot of money.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always talk about the big networks. That
Mhm.
makes such a difference, you know? It
Mhm.
depends on like what you're doing. I mean, I've done things where somebody's been married to like a baseball player, you know, professional athlete,
Mhm.
or you know, they are the wife of the football coach at a university. I mean, there was all these different. It's like, well, no wonder, holy crap, that they, of course, you know.
Yeah, and then this one is allegedly because I have like a whistleblower. I have a whistleblower who was like the top 1% of one of the MLMs in the Philippines. They told me about grooming. So, for example, their target market is, let's say, a student, right? So they're gonna find like a student that is like personable with a great personality, and like that they can show to people. They, for example, they can talk really good. It doesn't matter if they have like a good network or they work hard. They put whenever they recruit, they put people under him so that he will make it, and then they can say, hey, this is a
Yeah,
student, this guy doesn't have a lot, like a rags to riches story. So most
yeah.
people don't know about that. They're just gonna say, well, he's just a student. He came from like a poor family and he made it. No, 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 no. They groomed him.
There's
Yeah.
manipulation going on. There's the shell
Hmm.
game is going on somewhere. Well, sweetie,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to end this because I want to go and relax before like we have tomorrow to do too. And my plan is to be able to watch all of these, then probably give a breakdown of sessions that stood out, or maybe by day, because this wasn't exactly the conference by the day because I wasn't able to focus. Are you gonna be there tomorrow?
Yes, I'm gonna be there tomorrow, especially with
Okay.
your speech. And yeah, because over here it starts at 6 a.m. I think 6 a.m. So I might be like able to watch the second half if I don't wake up that early.
I understand.
But
Well,
it's
mine's
been fun.
later in the day, so
Yeah, it's been fun, Alanda.
good. Well, we'll come back and we'll talk about other
Yeah.
things because there's always plenty to talk about. So thank you so much for your an invested lifestyle. That is
Yeah.
Elaine's channel. If you have not checked her out, go check her out, subscribe, all of that stuff. Thank you so much for being here. And I mean, literally hopping on like spur of the moment as we were
Yeah.
chatting today. I was like, hey, why don't you come?
Yeah, I'm always available for you. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to me rant about MLMs. But yeah, thanks so much.
Okay. And everybody,
Okay,
thank you. We'll see you the next time. And remember, you're beautiful and I love you. Good night.
bye.